In Star Trek, when you go to war, you go to war.
NERDSoul.
LeIllKid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we coming with another wonderful episode of On Screen, and this is another special episode on The Real. I'm hyped this weekend that just passed, and yesterday, you know that we did the wrap up of episode 1 of Star Trek Discovery. Today we're doing episode 2, so let's do this. One of the first things I want to touch on about this episode is how the Federation is still so very Federation. You know, it's a military well, it's not a military organization, but it has its military kind of, organization, if you will, because, even when the first, number one didn't really get along with the captain on the decision, now we're in a situation where we are at red alert. We got tons of, Klingon warships here, and we've got to do something. And when they call in, when Michelle Yeoh's character calls into the Admiral, you can see the very harsh attitude, the disdain, the kind of looking down his nose at her because he's like, I'm the Admiral. Why are you calling me? Why are you bothering me with this? And it has a very kind of military aspect, and it for me, it helped kind of humanize the Federation, because a lot of times when you hear about the Federation, it's just the Federation. It's just this big organization. But when you see the different people there, you see the different relationships, you see the different attitudes, you find out that, people are just, they have their own motives. They have their own attitudes. They have their own, kind of like outlook on situations. And he has it was a very militaristic kind of deal, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like, why are you bothering me with this? I got better things to do, and now you got us in trouble. Now I got to come down there and fix things. And it's like, man, we actually didn't mess anything up. We saw that one of our outposts was messed up, and we came to, check that out, and you getting hot with us. But I just like that because it showed how the Federation kind of like everybody is just, it's real. It made it real for me. It made the different, I guess you could say, like the different ranks real for me, because like, this is how people really are, man. If you're on your job, or if you're, at some kind of event, there's always that person. The Admiral is kind of like that dude that gets that clipboard. You know what I'm saying? When he get that clipboard and you can't tell him nothing no more, that's how the Admiral was in this episode. Now, on the other side, I really enjoyed the apprehensive nature of Klingons when it comes to this prophecy, when it comes to reuniting, when it comes to putting the Empire back together. Because when they come and they're, talking to Kuvma, you can see that they're like, well, who put you in charge? Who told you that, you're the person that's going to unite us? Who even told you that you should be calling us? You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because you have a similar issue on both sides. Like not the Grand Admiral, I'm sorry. I love Star Wars too. But anyway, the Admiral on Star Trek side, and then you have the 24 warring houses on the Klingon side, and it seems like they're both on some like, why are you calling me? Because you're not, they're looking at Takuvma like, dude, you ain't, you ain't big enough to bring us all together. Who gave you the right? Who gave you the go ahead to let off this beacon and call everybody? And I just like to see that both sides are much more alike than they think. And one thing that helps is that inside of both of these races, you see issues of race, you get to see issues of discrimination, you get to see issues of acceptance, and you get to see issues of people that are not so accepting. But I do like the fact that we get to see the Admiral and the warring houses come to the respective parties and kind of having a similar reaction, like, I'm not feeling this. And even they were like, man, what we got to go to war for? Like, and if we are going to go to war, why are we going to go to war for you? On your say so? Bruh. But another thing about this episode that I think went well was the flashbacks. Because flashbacks can be funny when done, regardless of TV or movies. sometimes they can come off cheesy, and sometimes they can actually come off stopping the story or not properly informing the story, i.e. see the strain. But what I like about these is not only are they're shot slightly different, so you know kind of the time period and that you know that it's something that was done a long time ago, but you also get to see that it informs the story well, and it informs that moment well. I think that's a great part of this episode, is that we get to Kuvma's youth and we get Sonequa Martin Green, Michael's youth, you know, and we get to see how those decisions and those actions bring them to where they are now. And I think that was done well because, you know, flashbacks, let's face it, flashbacks can always be corny, you know what I'm saying? They can always be problematic at best. So let's talk about what this episode was really about. Yo, the battle was bananas. I love the fact that they just started firing on everybody. Like, you know, there was Klingons dying, there was Federation dying, and the Federation showed up. Because at first, I was thinking like, yo, the Discovery, yo, look, they in trouble, B, because ain't nobody from Federation come up. Like, they was on their own. There was like a whole bunch of ships and just little baby Federation ship over here. But then the Federation showed up for real, and it was cool. We did find out that the Klingons was not playing, man. They've been working and getting their technology on point. But the Federation starships, they did their thing, and I just like to see the full-scale battle that I haven't seen from Star Trek, of course, in a long time, because even in like the movie last year, it was kind of like a one-on-one kind of thing. It wasn't like a full Federation. You got like tons of ships over here, tons of ships over here, and maneuvers and all that. So I enjoyed that, man. I also enjoyed the mutiny issue between Sonequa Martin Green and the captain. But the battle as a whole, I think, was great because that moment proved both characters right. Sonequa Martin Green was right that we should have shot first because, and I mean, I guess you can play the time game and be like, you never know what would have or could have happened, but maybe, just maybe, we could have saved this situation. But then, of course, on the captain's side, she was right, man. Once we get into this, there's gonna be death, there's gonna be blood, there's gonna be crying. And that's what she was trying to avoid. So much so that like the ship was, I think they said the shields were at like, I don't know, 40% or something like that. Tons of dead people just floating in space, a whole bunch of craziness. It was exactly what she tried to guard against. And it hurt because you didn't want it to happen, but we kind of knew it had to happen. But, you know, tons of Federation ships, you know, took an L, son. Like even the Admiral ship, who, you know, let's be honest, man. From what we know of the Admiral, I'm pretty sure he deserved it. But maybe he didn't have to go out like that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about this episode is, of course, going to the Klingon ship and trying to apprehend Kuvma. Also, I like how they kind of put that proton bomb or photon bomb or whatever on the dead Klingon. That was smart. That was smart. But they go to arrest him. And the only problem I had with that is that Michelle Yeoh, if you guys don't know, which you probably do, but Michelle Yeoh has been in like action flicks, karate, kung fu, whatever, all that stuff for a long time. I have been a fan of her since I was a little boy, just a wee tot. And I was mad that when it got to the hand-to-hand, homegirl didn't get nice on him. Look, check it. If you hire Michelle Yeoh, look, it's almost in the contract that she got to get nice on him, son. Like, why would you not let her get straight busy on the kung fu tip? Like she should have, I mean, now of course I know Kuvma is probably physically just stronger than her, but I would have loved to see her get like some quick moves on and, you know, duck around, maybe, you know, hit a couple pressure points or something, hit her with some of that, you know, some of that ill quick styles that we've seen her do in films before. But maybe, you know, maybe she was just like, you know, I don't feel like it. Or maybe they were like, yo, she too sweet for Federation training. I don't know. Maybe that's it. But that's the kind of part that sort of let me down. I was like, oh. I mean, the episode was cool, but I was just like, oh, man. So I would have loved to see her break out and get nice. And of course, with the plot, she had to die. But it would have still been cool to see her get a little fly on him real quick. And then, honestly take a L and, you know, kind of die with some honor and all that, you know, in battle, which is probably what I think Takavma and her may have wanted, you know, sometime in their life. So man, that's how I feel about the new episode of Star Trek Discovery, episode 2, man. Holla at me, I'ma holla at you down in them comments. Let me know what you thought, man. I thought this was definitely a dope episode, especially with all the action that we got. So guys, before I bounce, I gotta tell you guys to subscribe to the channel. Check me out, let me know what you think. Check out the whole catalog. Then hit up shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. And don't forget to get one for them players. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right, there is no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please, man, look, if you are under attack and you see your admiral take a L, it's time to bounce. Peace.